Oh, don't just...
There we go.
Don't just say it. Okay.
Hey, it's legal here.
Yeah, it's
I
totally
have a physical
legal
problem
here.
and I do drugs.
Man.
Actually, you know what? If it's already out, take a look at this thing. Come on, it's pretty.
It's a pretty nice pipe.
It's nice and wizardly.
It's a very wizardly pipe. It has dragon scale on the end of it.
It does.
I do the Tylenol sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Edgy.
Powerful.
So rebellious.
With a big iron on his hip.
Big iron on his hip. Welcome back. So, when last we met, you guys had been fucking shot at,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
and you are riding out of town.
Gallop, gallop.
It is like the early night right about now. The sun's already gone down, and it's sort of the last sort of pale pinkish glows in the sky before it's night. You guys aren't sure where you're going. That being said, this is going to be from a different perspective this time around. Rollins is on the wagon with... Actually, whose wagons do we have right now? Reggie's.
Did we have? I don't think we.
We had,
You have Bea's.
we had Bay's wagon,
Yeah.
but everyone else was staying behind.
So Rollins is sitting on the back of Bea's wagon, watching the city head off in the distance. He's thinking to himself about what's going to be happening next. What are you guys thinking?
Fess is probably sleeping. Getting as much nap time in as possible.
Yeah, Henny's making sure everybody is, safe, doesn't need any doctoring.
Reggie's just in military formation mode. Like, let's get this up. Let's form up, front and back, watches, stuff like that.
Rollins walks up to... Well, he clambers his way through the wagon and then sort of like walks alongside until he gets to Reggie. All right, what are the marching orders? Where are we going?
Well, Henny was saying that we need to go and meet up at the next village over. And so we're going to try and do that. Marching order, who's actually got horses that they're not riding right now? Or like that they are riding right now?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Because
So
I
many
have your horse, but you're riding Salus's horse.
It would
and
also...
Steelfist's horse.
My
for the
horse is
cart.
pulling the cart.
Numbers-wise, it would make sense for the rest of the party to have made sure everyone has horses.
Yes.
Mhm.
In terms of how many horses in bulk you have enough that everyone's riding.
Okay. Yeah, I think my horse is pulling the cart is the situation we had set up.
Yeah. So I guess I'll take rear guard. Actually, no, I should take front guard because me driving a wagon doesn't really make much sense for a rear guard. Can't see the rear. Rollins, you want to take rear?
Sure, I could do that.
Cool.
Elbjorn offers to do a side guard.
All right, Elbjorn on side, and Trunk, you'll finish off the last one.
All right. Why don't we check out the map and see where you guys are?
What? Kerchow.
So here we are in the city of Last Hearth. You're not moving as fast as you could be in the daytime because you've got to slow down, make sure you're seeing your surroundings well.
Get those dice going.
Toss salads and scrambled eggs.
This isn't the Frasier intro.
So, who's going to be pulling a card?
Me! Pick me!
Keep in mind, one in your hand, and then you draw one.
Pew! Oh man, the four of spades.
Or the ace of... You're going with the four of spades.
Yeah.
And who are you as right now?
I'm
Trunk.
Henny. I'm Henny.
Trunk is on guard though.
Oh. Well, I guess we'll... Okay.
I thought that was
Fine.
the situation.
Oh, well... Maybe. I thought it was... Everyone was on guard at once, but...
know
Yeah,
what,
but I
Henny,
think-
if you
I think-
want to take it, you can take it.
Thank
You can take front guard from me.
Thank you.
All right, Henny's ahead of the group and encounters a fallen tree.
Oh, damn it.
Meanwhile, you guys are making some okay progress. You make it up to the village, like the next major village, but this one has closed gates right now.
Of course.
Rollins rides up behind you guys. He seems to eye the gates with a little bit more of a glare than anything else. He sort of like absent-mindedly fiddles with his armor for a little bit as he looks at you guys, waiting for you to make a plan.
Well, I'm trying to remember because we had told the rest of the party that we were going to meet.
We can send them a message.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. We can send them a message. Well, I think we should probably keep on moving.
I think we should keep on moving too.
No sense in waiting here.
Yeah, especially if the gates are closed.
Especially if the gates are closed.
There is the little hamlet off the trail further down that we go. We'd be able to possibly duck in there and they wouldn't find us.
Wouldn't be the first time I've camped outside some gates.
Well, let's see. It's evening, eh? Well.
Where do I move the pinwheel?
By now, it's actually the late night.
Oh shit.
You're the next triangle south.
Yeah. Okay. As soon as I stop doing the resize option, it's not the resize. There we go. It really wants to resize this pen.
But you said no. No.
Not going to rehab.
They tried to make me click on a resize. I said no. No.
Can we stop with that joke? We did that so much before going live. Okay.
So much whining. What is this? A wine house? Ho, ho, ho. All right, we are where we are. You gonna keep going?
Well, I mean, I would rather keep going than wait around here to be captured. I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to put together a team to come and find us, but but the further away we get, the sooner the better.
It's evening right now?
It's late night.
It's-
Oh, yeah.
It's dark.
We still have time. We were going to do away with this visual time, but we didn't.
Oh,
I
it's
also
dark.
haven't been updating the special boy lights.
There we go.
Maybe,
Late night.
maybe we should camp outside. Find like a... Are there trees around this area? What's this?
Around
Like-
here, you're at the edge of the tundra. There's like rocky crags and topography that could help hide you when you go off a decent ways, but there isn't much in terms of vegetation.
Okay, yeah, let's find like a spot that's semi-secluded and hidden. And
Okay.
we'll camp there for the night, I think.
Okay.
Because it's already nighttime, we shouldn't keep going.
Keep off the beaten trail. It looks like.
Rollins moves ahead, getting ready to go with the scouting party and find a campsite. Anybody else coming?
Yeah, whoever has good survival skills.
Elmira will come.
All right, so Elmira and
Trunk.
Trunk and Elmira are coming up. You guys go a decent way ahead of the party, over a few rises. Eventually, you get to high ground and you can just barely see the road, and then you go down one nice deep hollow, and you seem to be in a decent place.
Well, right here looks like a decent place.
Awesome.
All right, you want me to head back, or you guys want to let them know?
I think you can head back.
All right.
You like my trunk?
I thought Gabe was trunk, which is
No.
why I brought that up earlier. I thought
Whoa.
you were playing.
Oh,
No.
I thought you were like,
No,
hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Gabe
okay.
left me with Trunk and Bea.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were. Okay. That was where my confusion was.
Okay.
Okay.
We should probably go over which characters that we'll be playing this session, because it'll be very confusing to the audience that we keep switching terrible voices.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right. So because we're following Rollins around instead of the party this time, the party the people who are playing the party have a chance to swap out different NPCs when they so choose to better fit the scene, so that you're still there playing the game, of course, because that's kind of the point. But so, if I remember correctly, Chelsea, your Vesta is always in addition to Red, Elbjorn, and Absolution.
Yeah.
Ken, you are Reggie as always, as well as Steelfist.
Nope.
No, not Steelfist.
I'm my boy Milton, Trunk, and Bea.
Milton, Trunk, and Bea. Okay. And that means that we have the Gabriel as Henny as usual,
Yes.
as well as Almira,
Yes.
Steelfist, and Heck.
Blue.
Blue.
Oh,
Old
yeah.
Wizard Man.
Old wizard man.
Everyone forgets Blue.
We didn't even talk about this before we went live. We were just like, yeah, let's go.
We're
Right
doing
into
this.
it.
Let's go.
We're doing this.
Right into it.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
I'm not going to be a salty bitch, but I did send you guys all elaborate Discord messages.
I read it.
Yes.
I read it.
Yeah.
We just didn't discuss with each other
Right.
That's fair. That's
who we were
valid.
going to be.
Yeah.
That was also in.
Did you not?
I did. Yes, I read it. I read it. I just.
It-
I'm dumb as bitch.
And that's why it's on Discord, so that there's references.
Did you not read it? Why are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone because I'm in chat.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I was also the first one to talk in that conversation. Of course, I read the message.
I'm actually pretty bad at checking the Discord.
Yeah, so stop accusing all of us of not reading it.
Discord used to be so much fun and simple, and then I got too many channels, and now my Discord feed is just everything at once. I'm like, ah! Yeah. So,
Oh, I muted every
I have to.
Discord.
yeah.
Rollins comes over a rise and returns to the group of you guys as you're in some sort of heated discussion. All right, we got a spot. We definitely want to keep probably bigger watches than usual tonight.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, let's head over there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, fine. Fine, Vesta. We can head over there.
Is there a problem?
No. Stupid pancakes are better. That was a heated discussion. Just thought the tail end of that would be fun, but I don't think it was actually.
Rollins is ahead of you guys, leading you in a direction, and he sort of slows up and goes, hold on. Pancakes or what?
It's nothing. No, it's fine.
Oh, come on. No, it's not nothing. It's pan-related foods.
Well, it's just. Is it still a pancake if it's not cooked in a pan?
I guess it's... Who wants to roll understands?
How else are you cooking this? If you're cooking in a
I'll roll
pot,
understand.
sure. But
Yeah.
pot cakes aren't really a thing, and
10.
also it's the flat part that makes the pancake.
Is it the flat part that makes the pancake?
It's
'Cause it's
100% the flat part that
it's
makes
a
the pancake.
Now, is it the
Okay, we're not going to continue this
If I eat the
discussion
batter
again.
raw, I'm not eating pancake, right?
No, you're getting yourself sick.
So a 10.
Yeah, so a 10.
Vesta notices that after asking specifically the exact question of...
I rolled an 11. I don't know if I understand.
It's okay. We'll give you a trophy too. So, what the hell were we talking about?
Pancakes.
Vesta notices after asking that question.
Right.
Yeah, the specific question of... What was it? Is it a pancake if it's not made in a pan?
Yeah.
That exact phrasing, that exact wording, it's almost like he gets lost and a little forlorn before snapping back, and he goes, well, I think it's all about if the point is that it's going to be a pancake. I mean, I guess that's the end result. Is it a pancake in how you make a pancake? Is it a pancake in how you become a pancake?
So you believe in predestination?
Oh, I didn't know we were talking philosophy here. Theology.
Listen, it's all entwined in the pancake conundrum.
You guys go over the rise and make your way down into the campsite itself. Rollins continues this discussion. He goes, well, you know, there's certain essential... I guess it's sort of the question about what is a pancake.
What is it that makes a pancake a pancake? Is it the fact that it's made in a pan?
Is it the process?
Is it the process or is it the end result?
Well, that's a good question, right? If you go through the things that make a pancake and create something else, have you created a new thing? If you go through a new process and create a pancake, is that an authentic pancake?
See, no, because if you use a new process and you don't have a pancake, you have a pot cake or perhaps a hot bowl cake.
A hot bowl cake. What? Tell me more about this hot bowl cake. What are you guys doing while Rollins and Henny invest to get carried away?
I'm on lookout as we're walking, because... Fuck.
Yeah.
Bay is just absorbing the conversation.
Albjorn's probably also on watch. Absolution's probably listening.
Well, that really comes down to it, right? What are we really discussing here? What is the real question that the pancakes are the structure for?
Okay. All I'm saying is that just because Bea forgot to pack a pan, we can't have pancakes in the morning. That's all.
I refuse to believe that. I am sorry, I am going to be skeptical. Bea, of all people, didn't have a pan.
It's not... Oh, okay. It's not that I didn't have a pan. It's just that the pan wasn't clean the last time we made pancakes.
So we can't make pancakes because we don't have a pan.
Well, in that case, I guess the discussion is about what it means to have a pan. What does it mean to have?
To own, to physically possess. What do I have to roll to give him the legal definition?
Good question. What would a fucking philosophy roll be?
I got 15 in politics.
Philosophical law.
The legal definition of possession is
science. I think it may be a science roll.
I would say politics was correct. What was the roll?
A 15.
A 15. You think about it. You ponder. You go, I guess the difference is whether you have access to a pan or possess one.
Yeah.
Because if the pan's dirty, you can't use the pan, so can you access it?
You don't have access to the pan.
But you still have the pan.
Right, but you don't have access to the pan. You can't use the pan.
For
all intents and purposes.
With a +5, roll understand again.
I was like, where'd my dice go?
Where did they go?
11 plus 16.
If I get the +5, I got 15.
Did you recently
just
add
won
a dot
nothing.
to understand?
No, I've had a dot to understand since I got divorced. That was literally the joke I told Will, was I'm losing a dot in religion and gaining a dot in understanding, and it's just never come up that I actually do have dots in social.
Woo! You totally did tell me that, and I forgot, and then it slapped me the same as you did the first time.
It was a good joke.
Oh, man.
So, Reggie, you notice in the distance as you're making your rounds on watch, and Vesta, you notice as you're in the conversation that the same thing happened again. There was like a phrase, and there was another sort of like forlorn twinge. This one was about, what were we saying again? Like, if you don't have access, then what's the point?
Right.
He sort of looks off in the distance, and he goes, anyway, I gotta put up my tent. I'll see you around.
All right. We shall all put up tents on this fine night. Are you drawing an R?
No, I already drew an R. I came to the conclusion that all of my characters sound roughly the same. Like, Trunk doesn't talk much, but what he says is nice.
Mhm.
Reggie talks a lot, but what he says is generally okay. And Bea says like 2 words.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so I'm making cues to let you know who I'm talking with. Carry on. Ignore me.
Blue chimes in. Why doesn't someone just wash the bed?
Absolution's like,
Well, it was someone's job, but I just kept researching the entire night.
I was trying to make sure that nobody got killed when we decapitated.
I know.
Okay, fine.
I know. I know.
So the camera totally can't pick up what letter is on that, but truth be told, the letter is not helping at all. It's the fact that you're holding a Post-it note up to your fucking face.
I'm trying, alright?
You could just say, and then Bea says.
It's true.
Yeah, like 8th grade English.
That's
Bea
true.
chimes in. Trunk interjects.
I don't like using those words.
Slughorn ejaculates.
What?
That's a line in Harry Potter.
I know the one you're referring to. It's in there. It's in the book. Slughorn ejaculates.
Yep, 17th chapter.
Really?
Yeah, get up on your lore. Jesus fuck.
It's
Chelsea.
another. It's like another word for exclaimed or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But it's also just hilarious that he's ejaculating in front of a bunch of 17-year-olds.
I also like I like the nuance of the word ejaculated too in terms of saying something, because when you're like saying a word and you use ejaculated, it's the sort of thing where it's like almost inadvertently you are compelled to say something and against your better wishes you just blurt it out, which is one of those things where it's like are you accidentally nutting a lot, like just getting carried away and nutting? Like, why is it that in like a conversational standpoint, that's what it means?
I've never heard it used in terms of like somebody saying something before.
Well, there's a good reason for that, because it's bonkers.
Maybe this is just because I spent ages and ages reading books at all times. Specifically, like ones like Lemony Snicket, where they try to make people feel good. So they teach you a bunch of useless vocabulary that you don't use in real life, like ejaculated.
I would not describe Lemony Snicket's primary goal as to make people feel good.
I would also say that I have never used the word ejaculated in my vocabulary. I definitely have used the word ejaculated in my vocabulary.
Just not like that.
Oh, ma'am, I'm about to ejaculate.
It's the witching hour.
Vesta has gone to bed early. Like as soon as possible, Vesta's gone to bed.
Do we have watches that we can set up for who's here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we have the night watch here?
Sure.
How are we always so confused about watches, even though
No,
we went
it's
out of
because
our
we
way to
have-
make a...
We have half of our crew. Like, we have, like, not the ability to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. You're only missing 5 of them.
That's true.
I'll say okay. So Albion and Vesta. Okay, so it's the witching hour, right?
Mm.
Okay, so it's actually Trunk and Elmira.
Okay.
All right. That was weird. Fuck.
You're like trying to make the high pitched voice.
All right.
I mean...
It's me, Tall Myra.
Ooh, callback joke.
It's me.
Shrunk.
You could always just do like the tabletop role-playing game player who doesn't know how to do a voice, where everyone's just like, I'm gonna go over here and see what's going on. Okay, I'll come too. My character follows. Could just be like, Elmira interjects, oh shit, isn't that crazy?
I'm not chickening out. I'm not chickening out.
That's what I do. I just like, and then Absolution says yes.
Sounds like bullshit.
Sounds like bullshit.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
That sounds like bullshit.
Gotta put everything on the line.
Fucking Christ,
Your
Minnie Mouse is
pride.
getting aggressive.
Witching hour.
It's ride or die, bitches.
I'm leaving you for Goofy.
Like that it took all of, let's see. I can't tell how long we've been live from that. It's been a certain number of minutes.
Only not very
before
many.
the session derailed.
Oh, our session has never been on rails.
Okay.
Witching hour, Trunk and Elmira.
Witching hour, Trunk and Elmira.
Witching hour, Trunk and Elmira. The two of you wake up and grumble your way out of your tents for the witching hour. You exchange with the other watches, and you smell swamp grass off to the side of the camp.
Ah, shit. I'm following my nose.
All right. You snoof your way over the rise, and you see Rollins just sort of staring off at the village in the distance on the other side of the hill. He's wearing really dark clothes, so he actually really doesn't stand up against the terrain or anything like that.
Rollins? Is that your swamp grass?
It's legal.
Can I have some?
Does Elmira smoke?
She does now.
Cooperative storytelling.
He just sort of like
Yeah, I'll walk over. Take a deep
Life-giving
a
breath.
life-giving huff.
all right. How's Trunk doing in all this?
Well, I'm mostly just
Why are you facing away from the camera while you do that?
fine. I'll do this. Well, I'm mostly
You can't even see it.
I know. It's not meant for that. It was meant for you guys mostly.
Oh.
And also, it was just a minor gag that I wanted to pull off.
It's okay. We accept you and the things you're trying to do.
Thank you.
Not me, get fucked.
Feel validated.
That's rude, Elmira.
You are valid.
I'm just trying to keep Elmira in line of sight in general while keeping an eye on the camp, because you can't have both people that are running guard of the camp just wander off.
Well, we're keeping watch.
Rollins sort of goes, shit, right. And he grumbles and gets up. He starts walking with you guys as you're on watch, trading his pipe back and forth with Elmira. So, tell me, were you in the war?
No.
Yes. Which one?
Which one?
Wait, how old is Trunk and Elmira? I imagine
Actually,
it was nothing very old.
doing the math
Actually-
based on what you told me earlier, Trunk is younger than Reggie by probably about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, Elmira would have been just a kid when the war started, eh?
I'm going to say that Elmira was enlisted and was defending the Great Forest at the time.
Shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, I was in the war.
Yeah, this shit does it to me too.
It's that crawdad swamp grass. It's the good shit.
Yeah, I remember I was a kid, went up to the gates. I can't believe that. You know, it's something they used to always tell us, the people working in the mines on the outside of the mountains. Those big iron gates at Stokegate. That, they'd be open. I never believed in any of it. I don't know why I ever did. Let's be real. The point was to keep people out, right? Am I going off? Am I talking to myself? I don't know.
What?
Sometimes it's good to reminisce about things of the past, especially dark things.
Rollins sort of looks at Trunk with a knowing look and he goes, yeah, maybe. I don't know, I'm worried that I over-reminisce,
I passed the pipe back to him. Take another hit.
Yeah, this'll, yeah. Anyways, I should go off to bed. I'll see you in the morning.
You have a good night.
Bye.
Rollins toddles off to bed. By the time morning comes, you guys would probably be sleeping in a little bit, right? Considering it's the witching hour when people are properly asleep at last.
Yeah.
We can sleep into a nice solid 6 a.m.
Okay.
It's
Well,
the early.
I'm pretty sure Bester would like to sleep in until
Yes.
like 6 p.m.
Yes. Yes.
Well, we don't always get what we want. Sometimes we have to get moving sooner than we would like to.
It's the early morning when Rollins grumbles his way out of his tent to the middle of the campfire. Who's up and about getting things ready in the morning?
Penny is, because she wants to get as far away from this town as quickly as possible.
Reggie's up doing some morning training.
Vest is sleeping in, but Albjorn and Red are up and they're sparring.
All right. As things are getting ready, Rollins walks up to Henny. He goes, "Hey, Henny, can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
What has been your law enforcement?" Oh shit!
Oh, careful.
I got this fucking shit all entangled in me. What has been your law enforcement experience? Like what was your career like?
Well, I mean, I wasn't into law enforcement for very long. It's a little, little too corrupt for my tastes. But yeah, I mean, they put you through training. I mean, you train as an officer, and you next thing you know, you're expected to take bribes, and just not really my scene. I got out of there as kind of as soon as I could. Not much more moral, not much more morally integral work, but at least it wasn't, public servant breaking the law.
Actually, it's how I ended up at Anchor Hill.
Really?
Yeah, I worked at Garrison for a couple of years. I was an up-and-comer, is what they said.
Mm.
After the war, there were good soldiers and bad soldiers. Everyone was a soldier. The bad soldiers became civilians, and the good soldiers became law enforcement. But really, we're soldiers, Not trying to keep people in line. I can never stand it. But no, that was the thing with me too. There was a whole lot of money going places it shouldn't,
No, exactly.
When we switched to the credit system, the whole point was that everybody would be paid their fair share, but turns out when you put everybody's fair share in a ledger, it's easier to fuck with it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, don't trust banks.
And I mean, I went to the High Council, I brought them evidence, and you know what it got me? It got me fucking demoted.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I was almost the captain in Garrison. Almost the goddamn captain.
I mean, you could have been if you had been a part of the system. Like, no one.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing, right? Why would I want to be part of that system?
No, well, that's exactly it. You broke free. There's no honor in
doing this shit. How do you feel about it?
The shit is in killing monsters and walking around all day, or this shit is in killing life drinkers.
The life drinker thing.
Well, my boss, he, after the police force, I was looking for work and had a couple specific skills, and he kind of took me under his wing, and I mean, it sounds silly, he was like a father to me, and I mean, this won't bring him back, but maybe we can make sure that this won't happen to anybody else. And I think that it's not necessarily.
Rollins sort of stares off into space a little, and he nods. He finishes pouring his cup of coffee, and he goes, I'm gonna go for a little walk for a little bit.
All right, don't go too far. We're gonna be leaving soon.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. I think maybe we have more in common than I thought. When he walks off a little bit.
All right. Are I kind of look at the coffee pot, and he took all of it, so I'll start brewing some more.
All right.
Just as you start brewing some more, Bea comes out and looks at the empty coffee pot in disappointment.
I'm shrugging point at Rollins.
You see the distance sort of like of a spear, like well after he's gone over the horizon, and then the tip of the spear goes over it.
Yeah, it's kind of doing all that.
Granted, you guys are in a campsite in a divot, so you can't be seen, so the horizon is like 20 meters away. After packing some things up, Rollins rejoins the group as you guys head off.
How much health do I get from sleeping?
Well, we are going to use the 4 factors of sleep. Which is to say the same rules we've been using the entire time, but I feel like I should...
We haven't actually healed from sleep in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just never tired, but I am right now. So.
Honestly, my implicit house rule has been that if you guys don't think to gain rest from sleep, then you're probably too exhausted and wired as characters to be getting rest from sleep.
That's fair. Okay, so the 4 characteristics of sleep.
Right.
Sadness.
So,
Caffeine. Chronic back pain. And what was the last one?
Bumpy ground.
Bumpy ground.
what? Why you gotta out me on stream like this? Well, did you have shelter?
Yes, tent.
Did you have temperature control?
No.
Blanket.
Tent. Well, bedroll.
Bedroll is temperature.
Bedroll.
Okay.
All right.
I just curl up in a little cute package. And...
Were you safe?
No. Probably no.
Yeah.
You're in a
patrol.
camp. You're in a patrol camp.
And kind of. Can I put like a half point on that?
Yeah, and then that means you're more than 2 out of 4, which means you fully heal from
Okay.
sleep. 3d6 for 9.
Woohoo!
Ooh.
This is 1 by 1.
Ow.
Vesta heals that much.
Okay.
Henny
I have insomnia. I don't heal from sleep.
Henny heals 11.
Ooh. bet you wish you let me take that 9 now, eh?
Rollins rides up to where Reggie, Henny, and Vesta are plotting out the day as usual.
I'm just picturing Henny had just had a really nice dream where she was going through the day's events, but it was all according to her plan.
Yeah.
So something insane happened, like Steelfist comes through the window and they're just like, suck it, life drinkers. There's a massive explosion in the hall, the dude's dead, and like we all like burst out of the window and run and escape perfectly.
Yeah, no,
And everybody was like, go, Henny! Woo!
Oh my god, that was an amazing plan.
No, because Henny's plan would have involved... Okay, if you want to know Henny's huge plans, you set the explosions, right? Set the explosions off and then say, hey, we've captured the guy who did the explosions. And he goes, oh, well, let me talk to him. So you drag him into the back room. And then in that back room, he's like, oh, we're going to execute you. And it's like, yeah, we're going to hold him down. And then in that minute, Steelfist on a zip line comes zipping through the window and kicks him square in the jaw. And when he's like, oh, no, that's when they tie him up and decapitate him, put his head in the box. But they bring the rest of his body out the window on the zip line, and then they can keep the box and the head so that nobody knows what happens to him. And then we write a letter to him saying that he had a mistress in another country, and then he's left. And there's no blood, no fuss, no mess, and no one wants to go after us. And we escape through a zip line. That's cool.
I feel like Henny is currently being portrayed as like Nick Frost's character from Hot Fuzz. Like, strictly speaking, you're a law enforcement officer.
Yep.
But like sitting around going like, yeah. And then Vesta comes in with the bomb, like, I got it. Like,
it's like that, but less than like I want to look cool, and more like we need to make sure that there's not even a single factor that could lead back to us. Everyone is perfectly safe. There's no risk involved.
okay, so like the same story, but from like an 8-year-old who's super into spy stuff, who's taking it very seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Mom, I'm telling you, we need a secret base under the house with a vault door. Otherwise, if bad guys come, we're gonna be messed up.
Exactly. Oh, man.
I don't care what Kevin McAllister is able to accomplish with like some toy cars and paint cans. It's not gonna do shit.
Man, Toy Story 5, they probably just buy a gun. And it's like, I'm sorry, Kevin.
Toy Story 5?
I'm sorry.
really tangenting today.
I didn't realize that Sid from Toy Story 1 still had PTSD from his toys coming to life and assaulting him.
Oh, that man was in therapy for a long time, I'm sure.
Actually, isn't that canonically the case?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
No, that's derailing. So where are we headed?
Is the city gates open?
They have opened now that it's morning.
Do we want to stay here?
No, we need to keep on moving. Do we have, I'm stocked up for the next 10 days.
Oh gosh, I never use up my food.
I'm stocked up for the next
Probably
5. No, sorry. I'm stocked up for the next 2.
Okay, well, let's run into town real quick, get some supplies.
Yeah, let's just go through town maybe.
Yeah.
Get some stuff.
Away and get out of here. Yes. We should keep moving so that we don't get caught.
Okay.
All right, you guys make your way into town and stop in briefly in the town square to grab some supplies, but you're off the horses, on the horses, like that.
Mhm.
Anybody picking up anything special, or are you just topping up on your resources?
Food.
I need food and supplies.
Okay, it's 5 copper per, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick.
Doing math on a sheet. After a little while, you guys pack your things up and start heading out back on the road. Are you guys going to keep going south a while, you reckon?
I think that's what the plan was.
Yeah. Oh, it says Bloodwine wolves and sheepdogs, but I read it as Bloodwine involves sheepdogs.
I mean, I won't preclude sheepdogs, but I haven't had a prior sheepdog appearance.
Is Elpior a sheepdog?
I was going to say he's more of like a lab-dominant mutt.
Okay.
Well, you guys have made some distance south on the map.
Okay, I'll bring up the map.
You've... Oh, right, I forgot a whole other day. All right, you make it a decent ways down to the intersection right by the next village. From here, you could turn off to go to the hamlet, or you could keep going down the road.
Keep going down the road. There's no reason to give more people a chance to identify us.
Well, I mean, we can go off to the hamlet and just hide. Because guaranteed they're going to be following us, but we need to wait for them. Like, we need to wait for our companions.
Right, but our companions aren't going to be there for the next few weeks or so. I mean, I'm assuming that they would be checking all the little hamlets up down here.
Would they? Not unless they can track us to it. Why wouldn't they just assume that we went forward?
I mean, I guess it's... I'm just thinking, like, there's a range of places that you would check immediately, right? And the further out you go, the more hamlets there are. But, yeah, I mean, if you want to stop here, I suppose it's as good a hiding place as any.
I mean, going off in the wilds might not be the best thing this time of year. We might be able to find an abandoned building or something. We don't need to be anywhere officially. We can just squat somewhere and tell them where it is.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking, but... because... Sorry, am I confused? Is that what you were talking about?
Just squatting in the hamlet until our companions can meet up with us.
Oh, is the hamlet abandoned?
No. It's a hamlet.
Okay. I think finding abandoned buildings is a good idea.
Right, you're from Hammerhold. In the rest of the world, sometimes when somebody doesn't live in a building, it's just empty for a while. It happens all the time.
So you suggest, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, if we can just find an empty building, that's great. Hide in it. Sure. That sounds as good a plan as any.
All right, should we maybe off that side road then? Or do we want to go down the main road?
Yeah, let's head down the side road. Why not?
All right. Who's going to be on watch as you guys travel forward?
I will. Ranger will.
You're having a lot of fun with this.
Where'd your fourth one go?
I don't have a fourth one. Oh, I guess Milton. That's true. I do need to make a Milton one. But Milton, I feel, is distinct enough because he's the happy one of the group. So I can have 8 of hearts or 6 of diamonds. I will go for the 8 of hearts.
All right, you make your way down to a small, divot in the road. As Reggie looks closer, sure enough, it's wide enough for a wagon track. This must be an abandoned stretch of road. Going up a little ways, you identify that it's an abandoned farm, a little ways out from the hamlet. This might be a good place to stay.
We have a farm.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's sounds like good plan. Blue, could you invest and maybe get some wards up on it? Guards would be guards if it's shit. Which one? Wards if it's a place, guards if it's a person.
Vesta nods.
Okay, great.
All right, as everybody gets to business unpacking, Rollins doesn't take long. He makes his way through, makes sure all the buildings are clear, and then just sort of squats on top of the hayloft to get a good view of the place.
13 for a ward on the area.
What is Henny up to right now?
Henny is probably moving in, making sure everything from the outside looks like nobody's here still. Tastefully spreading some shattered glass around.
All right, what about Reggie?
Reggie is gonna be making sure everything is structurally sound. You never know in abandoned buildings.
All right, you're making your way through the farm, and you see Rollins a little ways up, and he looks down at you in a second, and he goes, "Hey, Reggie, you were in the military, right?
Correct.
How'd you end up getting into it?"
Well, the thing is, I was originally a guard in Redwine, and then, well, let's just say Redwine became inhospitable. So I took one of the back routes, that only the guards know about, and the smugglers, out of the city with my family, and we left and joined the nearest resistance force. And one thing just kept leading to another, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of how I started, too, between a rock and a hard place.
Isn't that how a lot of people started in that war?
Yeah. Were you with a lot of people in Redwine? Everybody get out?
For the most part, yeah. I had a little bit of family that didn't end up making it out. My family did, and my wife did, but my uncle, he didn't make it out in time.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that was the situation, right?
Yeah. Anyways, and he sort of peters off and stares off into the distance.
How about you? Did you leave with anyone?
He takes a deep breath and he goes, I lied about my age, if I'm being true. When I enlisted, it was after we were in the Ring Mountains out in the mines, and when the war started, standard protocol, everybody in Patchen would go inside the gates, but apparently they were scared and they closed them before everyone could get in. I had made my way up there with a couple of my siblings, my dad, but I'm sorry. I am not sober enough to be talking about this.
I understand. I think Albion has some good alcohol that you'd be able to make use of.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. You hear a poop as you see that almost like a Marvel superhero pose. Mousefolk are very light. Rollins does like the shoop down from the hayloft and then walks towards the middle of camp.
Reggie's just picturing himself doing the exact same thing and going through the floor.
Oh, your legs go through you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like, if it was like, a floor, he would just be.
Hey, Albion.
Yeah.
What do you see? Hey, you got anything to drink?
Yeah, of course I do. He pulls out a flask. Flask is the word I'm looking for. He pulls out a flask, hands it to him.
Hey, thanks, man.
No worries.
Sorry, been a rough couple days.
I understand.
You, Sorry, I realize you didn't tell it to me. I overheard one night. You lost people, right?
Yeah, I think we all have.
I'm bad with birthdays. Takes a nip and passes it back.
Takes it. Also has a drink. Puts the cap back on.
How about you?
Yeah, lost my parents when I was younger.
Yeah, my mom was really early on before I could remember, but my dad was a rough time.
Man, me too. Me too.
Right, I should, yeah. He takes another swig and just sort of does one of those, like, pat on the back and turns and walks away.
Mm-hmm.
By now, presumably, Henny and Vesta have finished up some stuff, right?
Yep. Vesta was putting words around.
All right. As everybody sort of gets back into the middle of the camp, you see that Rollins is sort of sitting by the campfire. His feet are tapping a lot. He looks up at you guys and gets up and he goes, "Hey, right. Who's on watch?"
What time of day is it?
It is noon.
Wow.
Noons. Do we have a steel fist? We have a steel fist.
We have a steel fist.
We don't have a Corvor. We don't have a Johnstone. We have Henny.
I'll do
So-
it.
Milton. Okay. Milton, steel fist, Henny is who's on watch right now.
All right.
Maybe I should watch that Milton kid. What do you think?
Okay, sure. You can join the watch if you feel like it. Maybe Henny if you want to relax or.
What are you implying? I'm very good at relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
Okay.
Why don't you show that to me?
I'm doing it right now. You see how relaxed I am?
I see how relaxed you are.
Great.
Picturing Henny just kind of spites, go over and like sits down and then realize she's not relaxing enough and just like leans,
Like, Henny,
very
liquefies.
stiff, like relaxed.
and I pull up my book and I give you like a look.
Look how relaxed.
Look how relaxed I am. I'm reading my book.
Speaking of relaxed, I mentioned Rollins like tapping his foot, and that was enough for my restless leg syndrome to start up again.
Oh yeah.
Just like that, like magic.
Okay, so Steel Fist on Milton Rollins.
All right.
Okay, so as everyone's on watch, Steelfoot or Rollins rather gets a bit closer to Milton. He's keeping an eye on him. Hey, you were in garrison, right?
For a bit, yeah.
No one can see that.
I know. Believe me, I know. I'm facing away from the camera and it doesn't even show up on camera, so it's fine.
You ever know a high office in McCready?
Would I?
Specifically, actually, I'm going to pull you off camera for a second.
Wow.
Ooh. Camera moment. Secret.
Secret Milton fact story.
Ooh.
Milton backstory.
So, what you doodling? Is that a fish?
I don't know what that is.
I like that boy.
Oh, that boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sort of mostly teeth. A little bit of wiggle.
Yeah. And this boy?
That boy. This boy's all wiggle.
This boy's all wiggle. Yeah.
Yeah. Roll 4 dice. Oh, he's okay. Thank God.
These are just my notes
That's just your yeah.
that I've been doodling on.
See, I've been trying to. I mean, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing.
I think I heard of him, but that's about it.
Anyways, if you ever find your way back there, I'd steer clear of them.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I worked there for a decent while, and there were some bad rumors going around.
Like what?
Like, he eyes Milton suspiciously.
Equal.
Well, now hang on, you two. We're a team, right? No sense getting all uppity here. and I slap both of you on the back.
Right, no use getting all uppity.
Exactly.
That's what he used to say. He used to say uppity people. That guy, I can't count the amount of times that I tried to get citations in on him. You know what he would do? The ledgers with the credit? He'd just put stuff in his account. He'd pick families he didn't like, he'd bleed them dry, and then he'd go in for credit checks.
But why? Like, you can just, with a credit system, you can just steal stuff and bring them back.
Some people don't want to bring it back, I guess.
I don't have anything else to say. It's just seems really pathetic.
Yeah, he was a pathetic guy. I wonder whatever happened to him.
Last I heard, he died in a fight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just as I was leaving.
Fight with who?
I don't know. I was on my way out. You don't pay attention to guards that you don't like on your way out.
You, my friend, got to get better at telling stories.
Well,
Yeah,
this
I'll work on
is
that.
suspicious as shit, but you know what? So is McCready, so fuck it. Rollins walks back into the middle of the camp. There's some more time that passes as you kill time and have some conversations.
Want to see me punch that rock?
Sure.
I probably punch a rock.
You punch the fuck out of that rock. It's 2 days later, same time, around noon, when a message comes in. This is one that Henny's the one who got the message. It's one that you didn't necessarily expect to receive, but know how to process. It just says, radio silence 1 week. You sent them your
Alright.
location.
Okay. Well, looks like we're going to be here for a week.
What, that's it? We're just... Are they okay? Are they...
Radio science for a week. I'm assuming that they are fine and that they just can't send letters because they're being monitored. You know, the city's probably in lockdown considering that we sort of killed their primary industrial leader.
Yeah. We're just gonna keep an eye out.
Yeah, they're probably fine. There's no way they could track it back to them, and even if they could, they have the firewalls to escape. There's not much we can do from out here. We just have to trust that they'll be okay. And
All right, sure.
Yeah.
Roland sort of walks off to the edge of camp to just sort of patrol around a little while. What are you guys up to? What have you been up to in the intervening time?
Vesta's gonna do some rounds of in the morning, put some more wards up, make sure that the wards they're still strong. Do some potion making, talk to people, that sort of thing.
Reggie is running Milton through the paces.
Henny's probably training with Reggie too, doing some fitness stuff.
Albion and Red would also be doing fitness stuff with you guys.
All right. A lot of time passes with you guys training and fighting together. You guys note that sort of doing the same thing day in and day out. Rollins had been getting nervous for a few days, getting a little bit fidgety, and it's certain to help calm him. That being said, one by one, you've all noticed that he keeps going on watch even when it isn't his turn, just making around.
Man, that Rollins, he's a real go-getter. He's putting in the work, making sure that things are all safe.
He's out of earshot.
Are you Henny? Are you talking
Yeah,
to
Henny.
talking to Vesta?
See, this
Yeah.
is why you need the cards. So we know.
Don't you push that stuff around here.
Yeah. He's just I think he's just a little, got some anxiety about production and stuff. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. I can relate to that.
Would you know? Like, would we know where he is, or is he just off?
Like, he doesn't mysteriously disappear. He just, walks around, like, patrols the edge of camp kind of thing. It's not that he doesn't go out of sight, but he goes places you know where he's going.
Whew. Well, we should probably come up with something to do for the next week, because we're all going to go a little stir crazy in here.
We should make a plan.
Well, one of the things we need to plan out is where that box is going to go. Reggie points at the life drinker box.
Right.
Vesta looks at the box. Is it a wooden box?
Yeah, it was a crate. It was like a wooden crate.
What's the... Does it look like the same like it did when we initially put him in the box?
You noticed when you've been moving it around that it feels different. Can't put your finger on why.
I investigate it.
Alright, how you investigating?
You could always scry inside.
Yeah, I think I'll scry the inside of the box to see how it's holding up.
Alright, roll ritual.
Okay. 11.
11. Looking at the inside, it's... Well, actually, you expect it to be dark, but you see a little light. There's little pinpricks around the edge, like fraying on the inside of the beams, like the wood. It doesn't look like it'd be this worn down on the outside.
I think he might be damaging the box.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do if I had magic and my head was in a box. And I was still alive. There's a lot of differences between me and him, but...
The box bursts into flames.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
I pulled up my hatchet.
You have a hatchet and there's a box on fire. Cool.
Can I elemental, just, put the flames out? Like water or...
Yeah, roll elemental.
I'm not an elementalist, but... 9.
I feel like you're about to give me elemental advice on Reddit.
I'm not an elementalist, but...
It's like an Ask Reddit, so, elementalists, here's a question for you.
What?
Not an elementalist, but...
Thanks.
If a box was on fire with a head inside of it,
Yeah.
how would I go about putting that
Okay,
out?
yeah, so 9 for putting the box out.
You're using your fire magic not to fight fire with fire, but just to try and suppress the presence of it.
Mhm.
That being said, this is stronger than you.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a burning box in the middle of your camp. Steelfist comes in and does the same. Roll elemental expert with +6.
12. And 16. 19. 23.
All right, you focus and you just sort of like that, and it's like putting like a candle snuffer over a candle. It just kind of
Yep.
and right as you go, yep, it goes. You're like, Sealfist is now stuck staring at this box.
Can we get a non-flammable...
Elbjorn, can you get a bucket? Or some sort of...
Bea just literally takes the pot she was about to cook food on and just...
The pot cakes!
It's water!
Oh, thank God.
There's a that it extinguishes it, and for a brief second you see that although it's a head that you took off a few days ago, Vulcan is sitting there sort of glaring at you. His eyes are moving. He's just snarling.
Can we get a
That's why I'm asking for a bucket.
Bea
has a
holding
bucket.
Yeah, just...
You're a general goods trader. Yeah. If you need a container, Bea.
Hands the pot to Henny and just
a
wanders off to the
container.
carriage.
So a metal container.
You find that there's a metal bucket. That being said, it's open top. You might be able to put it in a barrel of water, but you're not sure how that would go.
Well...
What if we put that head in water? in a bucket. Maybe that would be maybe no.
Yeah, Vesta, I was with you until you suggested continually drowning a man for all eternity. That seems a little bit cruel.
Yeah, that does seem cruel.
I was just gonna say then we can get like a lid, like a pot lid, and strap it.
I think that's a good idea.
Anybody here know anything about metallurgy or welding or crafting?
No.
Yeah, shit.
Oh,
I mean, we can just tie something to it, right?
Yeah. They have chain.
Who is actively holding the bucket?
Reggie.
Where is the head?
It's where it's.
I thought it was
supposed
on.
to be.
It is on the ground, isn't it? Like we're all just kind of looking at it on the
Yeah.
ground.
Mhm.
Is kind of how I imagined it.
So you have the bucket. Are you putting the head in the bucket?
Reggie's going to put, he's going to put the head in the bucket.
All right. As Steelfist sort of focuses to quench the flames, you put the head in the bucket, and then he goes, whew, and it doesn't burst back into flame. Vulcan just looks at you with a smile. You're wearing armor, right?
Yes.
16 lightning damage. You're vulnerable.
Well, 16 damage won't get me even if it's through my armor.
All right, so you just sit there and it forces your hand to clench, but you're just like, okay.
This is definitely a new experience.
Okay. How do you...
Metal container surrounded in rubber. We got rubber, or anything rubber-like.
Well, then he's just gonna use a cold. We're gonna have to...
We now have a problem.
Oh,
Milton is just kind of staring at this entire thing going, what the fuck?
what if...
Oh, I guess Milton's not caught up.
Milton has no fucking clue what's happening.
Nobody's caught Milton.
Everyone's just going, get a bucket, put him in the bucket, surround the bucket with rubber, and Milton's just like, what the
Why do I have a head?
Vesta, are you able to make some sort of sleeping potion? I guess it wouldn't affect him because he doesn't have a stomach or a digestive tract to sort of metabolize it.
Oh, you could very easily make a sedative.
Yeah, but it would just go he doesn't have a digestive tract.
To be fair, he doesn't have a circulatory system or any of the other things necessary to life, but he's still there.
That's true.
I'm thinking if you brew just a lot of it and we put the whole head in a bucket full of sedative.
Yeah, he doesn't have a respiratory system.
It could be absorbed through his skin.
So, just for context, I see the back of Chelsea's head, but I'm going to presume the face that's on it, and Rollins makes the opposite face. He just goes, what are the reasons we don't give it a shot? I mean, worst case scenario, we just put fire on top of him, and now we got our campfire.
Yeah. No.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Oh! Is there a lantern? Do we have a lantern?
After rummaging around a little while, you managed to find a lantern in Bea's wagon.
Can we just put his head in the lantern?
It is too small.
His head's too small?
The lantern is too small.
I knew I was being a smartass.
Okay, what would I need to make a sedative, an alchemy sedative?
You just need to find something calming and get the calmingness out of it.
Find something calming. Nature.
Can you just get essence of trunk?
Essence of smokeweed? Swamp grass.
We're on a farm. There's got to be can I do a nature sort of calming essence?
Yeah, roll science.
How are you holding in, Reggie?
Oh, a 3.
3.
Keeps.
Can I get someone to help me?
Can I help you with that roll?
Who's helping?
Me.
Henny?
Yeah. I don't know. This might be a bad roll, guys. It wasn't great.
I realize I know
What's a
I
20?
start my search and realize I know nothing.
So you quickly turn around and go, Henny!
Yes. No. Finally, I pull out one of my reference books and I start flipping through.
You realize, sorry, what did you roll?
20.
And you're looking through a reference book?
No, it was. I don't actually have a science book. I just thought it would be a fun way to just to say like, oh, ha ha ha. But
Okay.
yeah.
So you're sort of wandering around and you're like stressing yourself out, going, "You must find something calming." Eventually, you get like. You make your way around the edge of the fence and you're like trying to find the right plant or something when Vesta, you're just sitting there and waiting for this to happen. You see that there's a cut down stump, and then you sit on it and notice a view, and then something clicks. Roll alchemy.
Okay.
Oh, you're actually really good at alchemy, eh?
Yeah. Oh, I can't do math though.
12, 17.
21.
21. You put your hands on the stump and you feel that it itself has absorbed some calmingness. Rollins happens to walk up with a bucket.
I put some of the calmingness from the stump into the...
Decapitated heads being supervised.
Nice.
That's the shot of Reggie.
And he's like finds oven mitts and is like, maybe these will help.
So you put your hands on the stump and you, almost like you're milking something out of it, you pull sort of these blue strands and they almost form a fluid as the color drains out of the stump. Eventually you've filled the bucket with sort of like a pale blue, almost opaque fluid. It seems to be somewhat viscous. And as you sort of go and tap the stump with your shoe, it just poof, disintegrates into ash.
Okay. I bring the bucket with the fluid in it.
When you get back, Reggie's just kind of going, screw the mitts, just hand me your hatchet.
Okay.
No! Okay, I have it.
Just to shut him up for a little bit.
You bury a hatchet in this dude's skull and works for a temporary measure, I guess.
Well,
Okay, put the head. So I
Okay.
have the bucket here. Put the head in the bucket with the sedative.
Okay. Just, here we go. Do this.
And then it just kind of like... And then it's up in the bottom of the bucket.
okay.
Are
Well,
we drowning the man? Is
Yes.
this like torture?
Yes, and I'm okay with this.
I thought it would be more of like a vapor that he would sort of breathe in, but
The man just spent the last 10 minutes trying to shock me. I'm fine with this.
I have to remind you, he is technically a prisoner of war. Like,
I also have to remind you that he succeeded in shocking you.
He did succeed in shocking me for 10 minutes.
I just okay. Yes, sure. Okay, fine. He is. Yes, we are drowning him, but hopefully he is unconscious. And
Oh, I made sure of that.
that.
Okay, let's put a top on this bucket and wrap it with chain.
I just hope there's no sort of human rights tribunal that ever catches. I mean, us. I guess I'm not.
Rollins
my hands aren't
locks
clean.
eyes with you and goes, "Come on, the tribunals are no good anyways."
Well,
And
I like to think
really,
that somewhere out there the system works.
if we get caught for a tribunal, you know who's running the tribunal.
Fair point.
It's not going to be a fair trial either way.
Fair point. Fair point.
Presumably Vesta's eyes just sort of go dark at the words fair trial.
Vesta's like, I'm gonna be put to death anyway. Like, if I get caught, I already know what my sentence will be.
What do I have to? Can I roll like a doctor check to make sure to see how out of this he is?
Yeah, go for it.
How successful the sedative
The thing is, he has no respiratory system and no digestive system.
14.
Maybe it goes through his skin.
14. Judging by the hatchet wound to the head, this patient probably is going to be out of it for at least 24 hours. After that, you'll start to see how the sedative kicks in.
Well,
Just that statement. Judging by the hatchet wound in his head that is currently cleaving his head in two, I'd say he's going to be out for about 24 hours.
Brains are weird, though. You can take some, like, strangely intense brain injuries and get by.
well,
Yeah.
You can also take like some strangely minor injuries and like just die
Mhm.
instantly. You know, like there's
Yeah.
Reggie, you're a good lightning rod. You're a terrible lab assistant.
I think you did a great job, Reggie.
Thank you.
All we can do now is be watchful.
Okay.
Rollins goes with his spear.
In the bucket?
No, just
Okay.
Yeah, I put the bucket down in a corner somewhere.
Just makes the war crimes even worse by putting his head on a spike. Reggie goes off to do something private.
All right. Rollins makes his way around the camp. He notices Reggie. He otherwise does a head count. He's not looking for people to talk to them. He's just checking. Where's Vesta?
Vesta is probably hanging out near the box, near the container.
How about Henny?
Henny is obsessively trying to design a better containment system.
Bea?
Bea is working-ish with Henny.
How about Trunk and Elmira?
Oh, they're smooching.
Red and blue?
Red's,
No.
I think Red's on patrol.
Blue's sleeping.
Milton is bothering Red for an explanation as to what the fuck is going on.
And how about Elbjorn?
Elbjorn's probably sitting in the room watching Henny like freak out over some paper and stuff.
Rollins nods after doing a head count and goes to sit in the hayloft a little while. Another day passes. How's everybody holding together? Still radio silence.
I want to make sure that the head is sedated.
All right, roll science. Actually, no, roll doctor.
Woo! 20.
20. You see that there's a thin fluid that's separating out on top of the sedative itself. It's an alchemical fluid, so it has weird properties. The thing that's separating out you recognize to be fresh blood. It probably clotted in the past 15 minutes or so.
He's bleeding?
Yep, means he's back up, but inactive as far as you can tell.
Okay, perfect. Well, adding, and I go back to my notes and I say some sort of blood removal system. And
You mean the hole in his head?
No! For
How
the
about the hole in his
container!
neck?
For the container, so that it doesn't fill up with blood.
Based on the way you said some sort of blood removal system, I'm imagining you open Henny's journal and it's just one of those things where you read and it's like 3 p.m. scratch, 3:30 p.m. scratch, 3:15 to be safe, and then like 10 degrees off halfway down the page, it's like 15 degrees, do not forget, and then like an entire page of like miscellaneous calculations, and then you flip over and it's like some sort of blood removal system ?
That's exactly what it is. And someone comes over and is like, Henny, what's this? It's like, oh, I'm going to plan it for a date with Bea.
And they see some sort of blood removal system.
Oh, no, that's something different. I just didn't have a page that I didn't want to flip the page over.
All right. Another day passes. How's everybody doing?
Well, as long as that head's still in place. I think I finally finalized the ultimate head storage device.
Okay. I'm all ears.
It has to be insulated from every single element.
Okay, what kind of material are we talking?
Well, we're going to have some sort of metal, some sort of heat-resistant metal. We're going to have some sort of electrical rubber coating to protect from that and the cold. The acid, that was a little bit tricky, but if we can somehow create the sedative as also very basic, it would neutralize the acid.
Rollins interjects and just sort of with a spear points at the bucket off at the edge of camp, and he goes, I mean, Bucket hasn't done anything yet. Maybe a Bucket works.
Yes. Yeah. Fair point.
I think you're over-engineering this.
Perhaps, but you can never be too careful because when he finally escapes, he will come to kill us.
So we be watchful.
I'm sure it'll take a few days for him to, make a body.
Right, but that's where this plan comes in. You see, with this little glass tube, if he ever does manage to break through the first 5 layers, it triggers an alarm bell.
So who's going to build this piece of machinery?
Well, I mean...
It would take someone with a lot of cunning and understanding.
Yeah, I mean...
Some logic?
Logic.
And technology.
And technology.
Huh. Yeah, if only there was some sort of visionary with some sort of advanced tech no one had really seen before that could...
Perfect. So we take the guy that we decapitated and tell him to make his own permanent death cell.
Sounds good.
I mean,
Wouldn't be the weirdest part of this situation.
Or we...
Then there's Milton, I have no idea what's going on.
So, Milton.
Yeah, nobody's explained anything to Milton, and, he hasn't asked, so nobody's...
He was bugging Red for the details of what the hell is going on.
Red gives a very clinical explanation.
That...
So you don't necessarily know what the fuck is going on. You know that a life drinker is a person using a specific branch of mortal magic, and there are certain signs you can use to identify life drinking, such as a thin hairline black line that shouldn't be there on the underside of the eye, but you still don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, definitely could use an explanation.
So, yeah, Vulcan.
The guy at the
I
box.
know of him.
The guy in the box.
The guy in the box?
Yeah.
So he was a life drinker.
Okay.
That was the whole reason we were in that town.
Okay.
And we killed him.
I saw that part, yeah.
Yeah, no, you helped with that. That was great. And now his head is in this box, but he can just regenerate if he isn't contained.
So, why did you cut off his head?
Because there's not really another good way to contain him. Ideally, you would kill him, but sort of a head-only existence is the closest they can come.
But why him exactly?
Because we have to start killing them somewhere, and he seemed sort of relatively unguarded.
And who are they?
The life drinkers.
Why are they bad?
How do you feel about conspiracies?
I mean, I've been a part of some?
Okay, so you have a good base for it. So they have infiltrated pretty much every level of government or hierarchy.
Rollins sort of furrows his brow and he goes, all of that, but predominantly they steal your fucking life force.
Gotcha.
That's you.
I thought that was enough alone. They steal your life force. That's not okay. You can't just steal people's life force. That's their life force.
It does bring up an interesting question of consent and sort of utilitarian ethics.
You can't just steal people's life force.
No, you can't steal people's life force, and they kind of are a malicious ruling class that nobody knows about. And they killed my boss, and I don't want that to ever happen again.
Okay. I am now understanding what the hell's going on.
Perfect.
Glad that this is a completely concise and sensible sequence of events.
That is not the case, but okay.
Another day passes. You've now been, 4 days here at this camp?
Yeah.
Still nothing. How's everyone feeling?
I mean...
Resta wants to get on the road, but knows that we can't yet. I feel like a lot of people are probably feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, Henny's kind of going a little stir crazy.
Reggie's been doing basically two things. Being alone working on a separate project and training Milton.
Yeah, and Henny's also there. Training.
Mm-hmm.
I have 0 physical.
You guys notice that Rollins hasn't
You're
left
exhausted
guard
every
duty.
day.
Has it left?
In how long?
It's just sort of like in the spare time that you could be doing anything. Like he still goes and he eats and he sleeps and he takes care of his shit. It's just that like he's kind of just working.
Trunk is going to try and get on the same shift as him. Well, basically, Trunk is announcing that he's going on guard duty and assuming that Rollins is going to join him.
Yep, sure enough, there's Rollins.
So, I've been noticing that you've been taking a lot of guard duties.
Yeah? Yeah, what about it? What else is there to do?
That's fair. Is there any underlying cause for the guard duties? You seem to just only have a single mind towards it.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm single-minded. I'm just, I'm on guard duty. I'm keeping an eye out. I'm doing okay. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Things are good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Trunk's trying to help him, but if he's not going to accept it, Trunk's not going to push.
All right. Rollins continues his guard duty. It's around the evening when finally everyone's sitting around at the campfire, minus whoever's on guard duty. And Rollins sort of toddles his way back. He sits at the campfire. Who's all there?
Vesta. Albion.
Reggie's there. I'm just doing my training for the day to heal up a little bit.
Ooh. Yeah, Henny's probably off reading a book, but Elmira's there, along with Steel Fist.
Milton's definitely there eating. Bay is with Henny. Nuts. Yep.
All right, Rollins just kind of sits there and eyes the group a little bit. And he locks eyes with Vesta and goes, "Hey, do you drink? I could use a drink. Can I grab you something real quick from over by the wagon or?"
Oh, okay. I'm sure Albion would love something though. Albion then nods.
Yeah, Albion gets up and follows.
Yeah, Steel Fist is coming. I love drinks.
All right.
I love me some alcohol.
I love me some alcohol.
Those hydroxide groups.
Hey kids, do you know how to do a weed?
All right. So Elbjorn, Steelfist, and Rollins are sort of sitting by the edge of the wagon where all the alcohol is sort of hanging out by the edge of the camp while the campfire is going on. Everybody grabs a bottle of beer. Rollins cracks one open and he goes, "Hey, could I talk about a thing?
Yeah.
I want to talk about a thing."
Uh-huh. It's hard to talk about anything that isn't a thing.
Yeah. I was in the war, and I wasn't a soldier, but sorry, I'm really scattered. When Stoutgate, when the gates closed, we were thinking that it was because there was a force coming, and so we camped out. And it was day in, day out. We camped out. We waited for something to happen. The people came into the mountains before we got a force together to drive them off. They started picking us off, and just I don't know. It's reminding me of it too much. Just I don't like waiting. I like structure. I like knowing what's coming. I don't like waiting. He's visibly like trembling a little bit, but after he finishes talking, he just sort of settles down a bit. How are you? How are both of you?
I mean, I didn't realize that waiting was such a conundrum for you.
Yeah, neither did I.
I don't
Seems
really
kind
like
of dumb in hindsight, but
I don't really like sitting around either.
I mean, It kind of seems like, if you got in line at a bank or it just seems kind of problematic to to a life in a bureaucracy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Anyways, I'm gonna head back, and Rollins walks back to the campfire and sits down.
So does Elburn.
What's everyone talking about back at the campfire?
Don't make me pick.
All I'm saying is that bananas are the best part of pancakes. I don't care what you're cooking it in. We settled that argument days ago.
Yeah.
But bananas inside pancakes are the best thing ever.
The syrup. Is the syrup part of a pancake?
I cannot
believe we are bringing this up again.
I cannot believe that I'm bringing up a world lore moment. You're from Redwine, right?
Yes.
And Henny is from Hammerhold, right?
Yes.
Bananas are so fucking expensive. Why don't you just use blueberries and maple syrup like a normal person? And the contrasting one is literally like, holy shit, do you know how expensive blueberries and syrup are? Get fruit, like citrus and strawberries and stuff. Like, genuinely, you guys are like selecting mutually exclusive ingredients just based on geography and the realities of trade alone.
Oof.
Fruit, you guys, like that's...
You get the pancakes with the bananas in them, and then you get a nice fruit juice to go with it. It does not need a sauce. Pour the sugar on top.
It's not a sauce. It's not a sauce. It's syrup.
They're basically the same thing.
No, it's not.
Why can't you guys just enjoy like a good pancake without any of that stuff?
And in unison we go, we do!
We have been for the last couple of days.
I don't know. I just think a pancake is a pancake.
That's fair.
Do you know?
But the best part of it is adding bananas.
If you weren't 5 times my size and a lot better at combat, I would kill you right now.
Well, it's a good thing of all of those things, and I never have to worry about that. You're lucky I'm not you.
Well, it seems like both of you are quite invested in this debate.
No, it's just something to talk about, really. Nothing else to do.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh god, you're right. What the fuck do we talk about?
Yeah,
Reggie kind of just stares off into the distance for a while and just kind of goes, I miss the bananas from Redwine. You guys miss anything from your hometowns?
Don't get a lot of bananas in the
Yes, I
north.
miss my comfy bed. I miss my stable job. I miss my wise, benevolent boss. I miss the political ins and outs of Hammerhold. I miss that coffee shop.
Bad, just...
It's twilight, the very early morning. More than a day has passed. It isn't the morning after you guys having a campfire. Who's on watch? This is just before dawn.
Steel Fist and Milton.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why my steel fist is like Hulk Hogan, but...
I was thinking that was very... who's that? The Juice Man. The
Kool-Aid Man?
Kool-Aid Man!
Just bursts out of his tent.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fructose corn syrup man!
I feel like there's a lot of comedic timing that comes from like a joke falling flat while I'm trying to think of a segue to get us back into it. So it'll be like repartee, back party, repartee, spike it to the ground, and I'm just sitting there going,
how the fuck do I deal with fructose corn syrup, man?
As you guys are discussing high syrup fruit or high fruit, High fructose corn syrup, man.
It's the best part of the Kool-Aid.
It looks like there's a wagon coming up ahead, one that looks familiar. It looks like your allies have caught up to you.
Nice. We can get a move on.
Yeah,
Yep.
finally.
About fucking time.
Let's pack up.
Yep.
Check on the head. But how's the head doing?
The head seems to be successfully sedated. It is in a bucket, not doing anything.
Okay, well, let's get a lid on this bucket and tie it up so you don't...
You have noticed, however, based on... You know when you have like something, like any fluid in a container long term and it starts to evaporate, there's like a little trace on the outside.
Yeah.
You can see based on the rim that there's an inch that's evaporated off in the past couple days. It's like an 8-inch bucket.
Okay, well, we can just keep an eye on that. And
Faye just kind of looks at him and goes, I'm going to have to buy more buckets.
Well, I mean... Or, and I hold up my plan for the ultimate head containment unit, this bad boy could fit up to 16 heads in it.
That's how we need to be thinking. Now that we're all here, let's start the big picture, right? Moving forward, next plan.
next plan. Can we pull up the map?
Yes, that we can.
Albion, bring me my map.
Okay. Can I get a rundown of the hit list?
Right. So now that Corvo's with you, with Red and Blue as well, the three of them give you a rundown. You guys have some people that you have personal vendettas against, right?
Mm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a name.
Well, there's Cree, who I believe was in Pine Watch when we set this plan out initially.
Yep. He remains in Shadowgate.
Shadowgate, okay. And
Boru?
Boru.
Boru was last seen on a boat. He seems to be actually heading... He was heading north, but the boat has docked at Raven's Rook.
Okay.
Raven's Rook is reasonably close by. Shadowgate isn't too far off either.
Raven's Rook was south of Hammerhold, right?
Yeah.
Sort of. It's across the bay. So if you go south a square...
Yeah. E4. Load E4. There we go.
E4, please, load.
E4 is loaded, but I need to disable E3. I need to come up with a better system for this. I have it designed, I just have to make it. Oh, God. This thing doesn't work very well. There we go. No. There we go.
But yeah, there it is, Raven's Rook.
Is that directly south of us?
We would
You
go
would-
south to Tall Trees, and then...
Was
have
there
to
anybody
find a
in
way to
Tall
get back.
Trees? I feel like there was. Was there maybe?
You guys met because Tall Trees was
Oh,
a safe place.
Yes, I remember that. Okay.
However, Blue, actually, who would it be? Red, Blue, Elbjorn, Vesta, and no one else are all wanted upon penalty of death. Exiled upon penalty of death, rather. Raven's Rook is a city in the kingdom of Cragholdland, which is one of the 3 kingdoms that you're wanted on penalty of death.
On penalty of death. Okay.
Now, I mean, a fun, I'm trying to be more positive, a fun way to look at this would be all of the blood life drinkers are all wanted on penalty of death when they leave those 3 kingdoms by us.
Yeah.
That's fair. Where's Shadowgate?
Technically, they're wanted by penalty of death anywhere.
Right.
Where's
Forget my
Shadowgate?
thing. I was...
To contrast, in terms of Shadowgate, if you were to go east of here,
Figure out a better way to do this.
go to the world map, because I don't
no,
actually
I got
know.
this. It's up. There you go. That's east. There's Pine Watch.
Mhm. And then you would keep going east. And then east a little more.
Oh goodness.
I don't have east a little more.
Oh, maybe south? And is there an east of there?
No. Geez, the last east I have.
I thought I gave you like all of the... Okay, well, it's not on the map, but it's like 1 over from
Okay, it would be that's significantly far away.
That's a trip, yeah. So we can risk risk a quick jaunt into death penalty territory, or we can travel a very long way for someone who may have moved.
Or you
by the time we
can
get there.
try and find some random schlub.
Yeah.
Well, random schlub is a good option, but I also think that since we're so close to where we just last committed a murder, news is going to spread. They might almost be more on guard closer to where we are. If we travel further, they might be a little bit more complacent.
That is, yeah. I mean, it's also been a week since this has happened, right?
I mean, yeah, but like they talk amongst themselves. Like the news is that he's died. Like
Elbjorn chimes in. Well, laying low seems to have actually given us an advantage. Maybe we don't need to do it that long, but maybe we just do something else a little bit before we come back.
Yeah, I like
think
that
that's-
idea.
I think that's a good idea.
Some schlub, I think, is a good plan.
All right.
And when we say some schlub, we mean some.
Identified life drinker that you guys don't specifically want to murder because they slapped you in the face.
Yeah.
or anything
Right.
like that.
I just want to make sure that we're all in our non-bloodlust sort of mindset.
Well, I mean, anybody want to do some sightseeing then if we're killing time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
Okay. All right. I'm going to run to the bathroom. Why don't you guys discuss where you might want to explore?
How about Delta?
I think I'm still wanted under penalty of death in Delta.
Yes.
You most definitely are.
That's where you were sentenced.
Yeah.
Oh my god. One of these days we're gonna get into a village and Will's gonna be like, so the village is dominated by this huge, tall, twisting wizard's tower, at the foot of which is a big ranch house and sprawling village houses all into the woods. There's a big, weird sort of river at the end, which is frozen over with ice, where they race boats, and there's a big observatory way off.
Are you just describing your Minecraft world?
Yes. And I'm convinced that one of these days Will is going to pull this on us.
I mean, probably, but in that case, I'm searching for my little hermit hole. For the weird...
There's got to be a hermit hole here.
There's got to be a hermit hole somewhere.
There's got to be a hermit hole. Just because I want to have Will explain what the hell is going on with the hermit hole.
Right, for him to come up with some sort of backstory.
I thought you were
for why
going
it
somewhere with
existed.
that. It's like you were like,
Yeah.
I was!
Wizard's Tower.
No,
and
like,
I'm
I thought you were
okay.
going to go like, oh, so you walk into this village and, you know, you see a wizard's tower and a little bit of a sprawling farm and, oh, right, you're wanted under penalty of death from the last time you guys were here. Like, that's where I thought you were going with
Yeah,
it, but
no,
no,
too.
not where...
No, I was...
We're gonna have one of these days. You're just gonna go to a village, and it's gonna be our Minecraft village. That's what we were discussing.
And you're going to be playing a game with yourself to see how long it takes before you recognize it.
Well, now I can't. You ruined all of my plans because you're in on the game.
Yeah.
Long con failed.
Yeah, no, obviously. I wanted to pull the wool over your eyes a little bit.
Little did you know that Will was actually setting up the Minecraft world to look like Bloodwine.
Holy, could you imagine if this whole time Will has been building this mine and these rail carts because it's like the final plot is going to take place there and is like, don't need a battle mat, get on the LAN server, come on boys. Holy shit.
Bring your laptops to game.
That would be an interesting session.
Very interesting, and you would have to talk to me beforehand so we could get this shit organized.
So, what are you guys thinking? What do you want to do next?
Some schlub. We didn't decide where we wanted to go. Pull up the map again.
Oh, jeez.
Right, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to, well...
Go east. What's east of here?
Alright, directly east is F3, which should bring us back around roughly to Hammerhold area. Oh, no, that didn't work. There we go.
Hammerhold.
Yeah.
What's south of Hammerhold?
Now you make me do stuff. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I need to actually work on the better navigation. I feel so bad for this thing existing. Nope. Oh, there we go.
Why don't we just stay on the world map?
Let's just stay on the world map, shall we?
Maybe like Pine Watch or something, something that's semi-nearby, but...
Yeah, then there's Pine Watch.
Isn't that where Kree is?
No, Kree's in...
Oh, he's in Shadowgate.
Oh yes, Shadowgate.
You guys actually went through Pine Watch not too long ago. You'd be retracing your steps back down that same road.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
We could go even more.
I'd like to go north, up into those mountains.
Is there anything north of Last Earth?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because we were coming from the north, weren't we?
there's the archways that are presumably not working now that Vulcan's dead and production's been halted.
Oh,
You could
shit.
try to make your way through the ice wall to the far northern shore, but that would be a big escape.
Well, why don't we go down to the bay? We were going to go down to the bay before, and we chickened out. So, like, I guess what I'm thinking is sort of down towards the coast and down south.
Okay.
Keep our ear to the ground.
Could also go overseas onto an island or something. Get access to a boat.
Yeah.
That sounds. Yeah, we could do that.
I like the idea of getting on a boat and not being on the same sort of island where we murdered a man.
It's also harder to trace.
Harder to chase. Yeah. I feel like a good idea would be making our way to the coast.
All right.
It's just like murdered a man on a lot of islands.
I've murdered a man on basically every coast.
Oh, I'm the kind of guy who murders.
I guess you really haven't murdered on the East Coast yet.
All right. In that case, it's going to be a bit of a short one tonight, I guess. But next time when we meet, we are going to be trying to get our hands on a boat, trying to make our way to the coast, trying to equip ourselves for the next attack.
Nice.
If you guys want to check us out, I guess we should probably just... I'm worried that if I say we stream at 8, which is the factual truth, then we're going to start streaming later, because we said 7.
No, we can't start streaming later. We stream at 7:30, but sometimes we run a little bit behind.
7:45.
Nope, we're not making it any later than 7:30.
Just like here at in our tabletop RPG game, we are suspending disbelief for a brief moment and pretending we're characters. We're going to suspend disbelief and pretend that we start on the later half of 7. It's 8. It's 8. You guys can check us out live at twitch.tv/Mr. Croden. You can check us out on YouTube, the archived episodes at youtube.com/Mr. Croden. You can check out the rules to this game at bloodwine.fandom.com. And
Yeah. As far as streams go, it's a little bit light this week because I won't be able to stream on Friday because it's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
Oh, are you gonna get a flower?
I'm gonna call my girlfriend, and that's pretty much going to be it.
hey, Gabe, who's your Valentine?
Are you dating
You.
someone? That's so embarrassing. That's like, did you know that people have cooties? Oh my god.
You're going to die now. It's fatal.
It's fatal. Cooties are fatal. That's nasty.
I can't believe you didn't know that cooties are fatal.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Luckily, cooties can't be transferred via the phone, so me calling my girlfriend is totally fine.
So,
Everyone knows that.
nothing on Valentine's Day.
Nothing on Valentine's Day,
What about that Monday?
but on Monday,
Family Day.
Family Day.
Are you gonna get a flower?
No, I'm gonna do a really long stream of Dragon Age.
Oh,
Spending time with the fans.
Spending time with my
No,
fans.
do you-
Honestly though, like hanging out with like Alistair and Wynn is spending time with the family.
Kind of, yeah.
yeah. Could you get now a fun twist on that? Is your family cool enough that you could get them to also play Dragon Age with you?
No.
Oh,
Oh, that's
No.
not even like a
Also-
fun uncle or.
No.
Oh, shit.
Also, my family doesn't live near me, so
Oh shit.
I'll be giving them a call before I go live, telling them that I love them, and that's about it.
And we love dragging things on. Have
Yep.
a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Dragon